Hi, this is Tanya, and this is my channel, Tea Talks 93. So this week I wanted to talk to you about morale in hospitals. So there are patients that are very sick with COPD, CHF, different types of arrhythmias, heart problems, surgeries, cancer. Nurses do a lot to take care of these people who are very vulnerable, very ill, and require a lot of help to get them better enough to go home and be with their families. So this is our goal as nurses, is to help them to recover and get home so that they can live their lives and be happy as possible. But sometimes those feelings of doubt and of frustration and things like that can get to the nurses too, and it can have an effect on our morale. So it can cause stress, and stress can lead to decreased productivity. It can lead to depression in nurses. It can lead to a divide in the team. So if one team member of the healthcare team thinks that we should do things one way and another says another way, it can cause conflict, and that can be emotionally and spiritually draining for a nurse as well. Increase criticism to each other, by each other, can cause friction between team members, and it's difficult to work together if you're criticizing each other. So a little bit of a grace goes a long way. This can lead to disappointment in others, disappointment in yourself. Maybe I didn't do enough, maybe you didn't do enough. It's a blame game, and we just can't do that to each other. We have to support each other and work as a team. Fatigue can happen. It can lead to distraction. It can lead to fear that you're not doing enough, or you could lose your job, or you're not, performing as you should. How the organizations can help to improve this is consistent and meaningful communication. So if there are more issues, there should be more communication so that we have a game plan. We know what we're supposed to do to get this under control, to make things better. If you just say, here's the problem, and leave it open to interpretation, then that leads to fear, that leads to low productivity, and that leads to nursing staff wanting to leave and find better jobs. So if you are seeing this within your organization, you need to figure out what you can do to change things, to make them better, make them easier for the nurses to do their jobs that they really want to do. This is why we got into it, is to help people. Also, staff engagement is a big one. So give them the autonomy to help change the way things are done. Help them reorganize things, help them to change their processes, help them to improve, their patient care. If you give them the willpower and the strength and the ability to make changes, then they will. They want to. Another thing is, don't blame them if the morale is low. That leads to worsening of morale. It just gets worse. It just does not improve if you're blaming the person who is at the bedside. So people who are, and they are needed, I agree that they are needed, people in administration and financial and that kind of thing, to manage and run things. But they are in the offices, they are pushing papers, they are at the computers, and they are not on the floor. They are not in the quote trenches doing the hands-on care that these people need to get well. So be careful who you are accusing of being lazy or uncaring or uncommunicative. Just be careful of that. Administration or managers can offer changes based on suggestions from the end user. So if these are the people that are, like I said, they are there on the floor working, taking care of the patients. They're going to be the ones that knows, like, if we change this, it might be a little easier for everybody, and we can get more work done in less time, that kind of thing. So let them make suggestions. You can go over them with them, see why it may work or why it may not work. Help them to design, will this save money? How can we get us to save money? That's fine. as long as patient care comes first. Redesigning workflow. Again, like maybe there's a way to do things that make things faster, or make things more, make it flow better. Those things can help also. Acknowledge and recognize accomplishments. So if somebody has made improvements or has helped to reorganize, then thank yous go a long way. You don't have to do anything fancy, but thank yous do go a long way. When I have patients that they are appreciative to what I do for them, and they tell me thank you, that's the greatest gift I ever have. Okay, so you don't have to go out and buy fancy things. It's just working together, appreciating each other, saying thank you, asking if you can help, even if you can't do medical tasks or nursing tasks or something like that. Just asking, like, hey, have you had a break? Have you gone to lunch? Do I need to go get you something? Little things can go a long way, so keep that in mind. When you're in the middle of changes, providing grace can go a long way, meaning that if people are used to doing things a certain way for a long period of time, it is hard for them to change. You can't just go, okay, today we're doing it this way, tomorrow we're doing it another way. You have to give them a little grace period to kind of adjust and kind of get with the program, so to speak. So morale is influenced by the top down, and it can drive a whole organization forward, or it can cause more discontent, decreased performance, and absenteeism. Increased in patient complaints, increase in costs, and increase in employee turnover. So as we have heard for a few years now, there is a nursing shortage, and it's hard to hire nurses in certain areas, especially in rural areas. So be kind to your staff and try to see what you can do to improve their performance in a nice way, in a way that gives them power or empowers them. Okay. And one of the articles I was reading, and it was The High Cost of Low Morale by Nicole Fink. She was talking about, this was a few years old even, and at that time in the United States, an estimated number of people who were disgruntled in their employment were 22 million. And they estimated that this cost these businesses altogether about $350 billion a year. So that's a lot of money because of disgruntled employees. So again, it's top down. If you're disgruntled or if you have a poor manner, then it's the people that work under you are going to see it, and they're going to follow suit. They're going to do what you do. But if you are happy, if you get to know them, if you take time to help them, whatever you can do, again, it does not have to be anything spectacular, like you don't know medical, that's okay. We know our medical, but if you can, like, answer the phones, if you can answer the call bell and say, hey, your nurse will be here in a minute, is there something I can do to help you right now, or let her know what you need. That is simple, that's easy to do. We used to have a policy that nobody passes the call lights from someone who's, you know, gathering papers for admission, to nursing, to doctors, to everybody, the housekeeper, anybody. Do not pass the call light, the call bell that's going off. If you see a room that has the light on it, go in, see, make sure they're okay. There's emergency protocols in place, so if they're not okay, you can get on their phone and call for help. If it is something simple, again, like, hey, I need, for instance, my patient said, hey, my phone needs to be charged, can you hand me my charger? That's a pretty simple task that does not quite require a nurse or a doctor to do. Anybody is more than able to complete that task, so there's no reason to wait for a nurse who is running around trying to take care of these ill people to do that. So okay, well, that's what I wanted to say. Thank you very much. Let me know what you think.